You're tracing circles on your highball glass, ice melting slow like the end of the night. You say you never cared much for crowds, yet somehow you're still sitting in my light. The bartender's polishing the same old spot, radio mumbling from a room in the back. Your coat is folded on the empty chair, like it chose to stay and never ask. You tell me stories you don't tell your friends, names in the margins of a book you hide. I watch your eyes go someplace far away, then drift back home and rest in mine. We talk of cities we have never seen, lines on a map we pretend we drew. You laugh and say you never learned to dance, but your fingers tap in time that isn't true. The hallway clock keeps clearing its throat, trying to push us through the open door. But every time you reach down for your keys, you find another reason to stay a little more. You call it courage in a quiet glass. Your shoulder leans until it meets my arm, like it always meant to, just took years to ask. There's a moment when the room falls out of frame, just your voice and the hush of breathing air. Of how right this all feels. You say fear just means there's something there. You trace a promise on the tabletop, one simple word that I can't quite read. So I cover your hand with both of mine and say, whatever it is, it's all I need. Outside a taxi coughs and pulls away, leaving wet streaks on the empty lane. I close the blinds, the neon disappears. We stay where the light remembers our names. Here it comes on quiet, careful feet, sitting at closing time, holding my hand. The cash drawer sings its final tired note. Chairs climb the tables one by one, yet somehow this old bar still feels awake, as if the night won't end while we stay undone. these whiskey stains. I tell you, love is just a stubborn ghost, haunting the places we dare to say its name. We step outside into the gentle dark, your breath and mine a little borrowed cloud. You tuck your arm into the crook of mine, as if we've walked this way through every crowd. I watch you search for what you wanna ask, words trembling quiet on your tongue. So I answer first with a stolen kiss, and feel the question finally come undone. You pour the last of the wine, laugh that small sleepy laugh. Curtain crack, there's a line of street glow on your back. You say the day ran you ragged, I say, baby, you still shine. Sun on your shoulder from hours ago, still hanging in your eyes. You're my sun in the morning, you're my moon after dark. Same soft heart, different colors. Same slow burning spark. When the daylight's fading and the whole world feels too wide, you're the sun on my shoulder, you're the moon by my side. We trace rings on the table, salt from the rim of your glass. You talk small sacred failures, all the ways you think you lack. I catch your hand mid-sentence, kiss the doubt from your brow. Look how the shadows adore you, even the night knows you now. You're my sun in the morning, you're my moon after dark. Same soft heart, different colors. Same slow burning spark. When the daylight's fading and the whole world feels too wide, you're the sun on my shoulder, you're the moon by my side. Some days you rise blazing, some nights you barely glow, but I have learned your phases, and I stay through every low. So lean into my chest now, let the silence harmonize. We'll trade the weight of the daylight for the silver in your eyes. You're my sun in the morning, you're my moon after dark. Same soft heart, different colors. I'm staying through every sky tonight. Coffee cup half cold, lipstick print I know. You stare right through the window, like there's somewhere else to go. You stir your words like sugar in that glass, tiny circles till the moment's past. Is this the last call for us? Are we done? Are we finished pouring trust? You say you care, but your eyes look distant, breaking up slow like the bar lights dimming. Last call for us. I keep hoping you won't get up. Jukebox hums low, same song from our first June. You trace the grain in the table, avoiding me the truth. You say it's not you, but that line's worn thin. The silence between us says where you've been. Is this the last call for us? Are we done? Are we finished pouring trust? You say you care, but your eyes look distant, breaking up slow like the bar lights dimming. Last call for us. I keep hoping you won't get up. If you walk out now, what's left of my name? Just a ghost in your stories, a shadow in flame. I'd rather hear the hurt than pretend we're fine. So say it plain, don't leave it between the lines. Is this the last call for us? Are we done? Are we finished pouring trust? You say you care, but your eyes look distant, breaking up slow like the bar lights dimming. Last call for us. You stand up, I don't ask you to stay, I just watch you walk away. Coffee cup half cold, Your old sweater hangs there, still young. I'm just a half-empty glass on the table, turning your name around my teeth, slow as the smoke curling over this label. You're here in the air I breathe. If you ever get lost in the dark of your past, you know where I'll be, baby. Half-empty glass. Cup ring circles on the oak wood, little soft halos of what we were then. Phone face down like it knows better than to light up your face again. I'm just a half-empty glass on the table, turning your name around my teeth, slow as the smoke curling over this label. You're here in the air I breathe. If you ever get lost in the dark of your past, you know where I'll be, baby. Half-empty glass. Some nights I swear I hear your key catching the lock, come back to me, but it's only the ice cracking in my drink, only the silence finishing my thoughts for me. I'm just a half-empty glass on the table, turning your name around my teeth, slow as the smoke curling over this label. You're here in the air I breathe. If you ever get lost in the dark of your past, you know where I'll be, baby. Half-empty glass. Clock on the wall, glass on the table, lipstick and steam. You stir your coffee, I stir my dreams. Your eyes on the window, my name sleeve. You smile like a secret you'll never let leave. Your hand on a table, so close to mine. Two shadows on velvet, almost aligned. Don't say it, just stay till the ice all melts in this midnight glass. In this midnight glass, let the quiet hold everything we never tell. In this midnight glass, in this midnight glass. The bouncer nods, my name half known. Lipstick stains on a coffee cup throne. I hang my coat on a borrowed chair, unpack my heart in the velvet air. Freedom is smoke off my shoulders tonight, floating above every wrong, every right. I close my eyes, let the weight unwind, walk out of the cage I built in my mind. You used to live in the curl of my hand, a faded stamp from a foreign land. Now your promises blur at the rim of this glass. I taste the truth and I let it pass. The clock over there doesn't own this hour. These tied red heels still remember their power. I breathe in deep, trade the hurt for a sigh. Sign my release on the back of goodbye. Freedom is smoke off my shoulders tonight, drifting through doors toward a softer light. I pay my tab with the time I've spent blind. Leave what I was at the bar behind. I walk to the street, hands finally light. One quiet step into my own night. the bouncer nods. The bouncer nods, my name half known. The bouncer nods. The bouncer nods, my name half known. Coffee gone cold on the table, lipstick ring on the rim. You laugh about all of your bad decisions, say you'd still make them again. Neon clock ticking above us, but the room feels still and slow. You trace every line on your weathered road map, places only you know. This is the life I get, crooked and kind, tangled and true. Every scar, every side street led me right here next to you. I don't need a perfect story, just a heart that still beats through the noise. This is the life I get, and somehow I call it my choice. You talk about jobs that went nowhere, names you can barely recall, how love showed up dressed as an ordinary Tuesday and stayed through it all. We toast every small imperfection, all the things we can't redo. You say regret's just proof that you care too deeply. I think that's my cue. This is the life I get, crooked and kind, tangled and true. Every scar, every side street led me right here next to you. I don't need a perfect story, just a heart that still beats through the noise. This is the life I get, and somehow I call it my choice. Some nights are diamonds, some nights are dust in our hands, but we keep on learning how to sing with whatever remains. This is the life I get, crooked and kind, tangled and true. Every scar, every side street led me right here next to you. I don't need a perfect story, just a heart that still beats through the noise. This is the life I get, and sitting here under this dim little light, I think it's alright. Steam on the glass, lipstick on a half-full glass of red, ticket in my pocket, name I never have to use again. Clock says tomorrow. Moon says I can stay right here, laughing with a stranger who doesn't ask me why I disappeared. I call this feeling freedom. Bare feet on a borrowed floor, heart like an open window, letting in whatever comes to the door. I don't need a reason to breathe like I've never before. I call this feeling freedom. I don't lock it up anymore. Keys on the table, little silver past I used to wear, phone face down, quiet. For once I do not even care. Your shadow's just a story, blurring in the bottom of the glass. I sway to the sax line while the weight of you slides off at last. I call this feeling freedom. Bare feet on a borrowed floor, heart like an open window, letting in whatever comes to the door. I don't need to breathe like I've never before. I call this feeling freedom. I don't lock it up anymore. No promise on my finger, no map taped to my door. No, just this soft, slow surrender to not being yours anymore. I call this feeling freedom. Bare feet on a borrowed floor, heart like an open window, letting in whatever comes to the door. To live like I'm asking for more. I call this feeling freedom. I don't lock it up. I don't lock it up anymore. I call this feeling freedom. Steam on the glass. You left your sweater on my chair, sleeves still smelling like your skin. I pour one glass, then pour your share. Talk to the air like you're just late again. There's a room between your voice and mine. Every word has to cross that night. You say I'm here, but you're miles in the line. I touch the phone, it's only light. There's a room between your voice and mine. Your old postcard on my fridge, crooked smile, a crooked stamp. You write of rivers, foreign bridges. I boil water for an empty land. There's a room between your voice and mine. Every word has to cross that night. You say I'm fine, but it trembles in time. I hold my breath, you hold the flight. There's a room between your voice and mine. Some nights I swear I hear your key, metal on metal in the door. I learn the sound of what can't be. Sweep your shadow off the floor. There's a room between your voice and mine. Every wish has to cross that night. If I close my eyes, you're here. Light. Your laugh in the glass, your hand on mine. But there's a room between your voice and mine. You lean on the bar, tracing rings in the glass. I say stay, though your hands never ask. I taste old secrets in the red on your lips. Your laugh breaks the silence like a late night eclipse. Is this the last call for your heart, or the first time it's pouring for me? Are we dancing on the edge of goodbye, or finally where we're supposed to be? Just this last call for your heart and me. The room turns to shadows, when you turn into me. You talk about leaving, but your touch disagrees. Your name on my shoulder, soft as smoke in the air. Every promise you're hiding, I can taste it right there. Oh, is this the last call for your heart? For the first time it's pouring for me. Are we dancing on the edge of goodbye? This last call for your heart and me. You say you're tired of almost, you say you're tired of halfway. Then prove you're here in this moment. Don't let it slip away. Is this the last call for your heart? This last call for your heart and me. There's a boy in my head, I'm not thinking straight. He is calling me now, he is taking the bait. There's a voice in my head, says this one is mine. She is telling me so, and I take it as a sign. And she told me, and she told me, and she told me, there's a way, there is time, there is hope, there's a chance. When he calls, when he asks, when he wants to dance, there's a voice in my head, says this one is mine. She is telling me so, and I take it as a sign. And she told me, and she told me she told me, and 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 she told me. You hang your coat on the same bent hook, leave your keys in a half-full glass. Like every tired night, you tow your shoes into their careful line. Say you're late, but you're really just avoiding what you feel. I'm on this couch with a chipped blue mug, tracing steam, thinking how we got this far from truth. You ask me once if I've been alright. Eyes look down like you know that answer isn't neat. I stir the spoon round a quiet world, see your face in the silver curve, waver, then come clear. You laugh too fast at your own small jokes, like you're scared that a silence might show you what I know. I've watched you flinch when the phone light glows, turn it down like a stubborn song you never meant to play. I've heard your words walk a careful wire, all those sweet, almost perfect lines balancing on doubt. I've seen your hands reach then hesitate, touch my hair like a promise you can't afford to make. So here we sit in this dim back room, red shade casting a rusted ring on every chipped white plate. The band plays soft as the floorboards creak. Sax sings low, drawing out things we never say. I watch you blink to the rhythm sway, like the beat might decide for you what your heart should do. I don't need vows wrapped in shining gold, just a voice that won't change its tone when someone leaves the room. I don't need tales of forevermore, just your steps coming home the same on any kind of night. I just need you when the door clicks shut, to believe that your shadow falls only here with mine. used to chase the loudest room. Bright voices, bright bottles, bright talk. But those nights blurred like spilled ink. Nothing stayed when the sun came up. You walked in wearing quiet colors, laughed once like you didn't need a crowd. You asked my name as if it mattered, like you'd keep it and not let it drown. We found a corner by the window where the city barely made a sound. Your hands wrapped round a chipped glass, you traced the crack while you slowed me down. You said, "Tell me what you're running from." I said, "Empty days that all look the same." You just smiled and changed the subject, asked my stories instead of my shame. Happiness used to sound like shouting, like dancing hard enough to shake the floor. Now it's the scrape of a chair beside me, your coat on my shoulders as we head for the door. It's the way you pour just half a drink, so I remember everything you say. The way you keep your phone face down so the night doesn't get pulled away. Happiness is how you listen to the stumbles I try to hide, how you don't fix, you don't sermon, you just sit there fully on my side. It's you counting my small victories like they're worth more than any grand plan. It's you laughing when I miss the punchline, still clapping like you're my only fan. Tonight the band leans into something tender, a soft sway wrapped in amber and smoke. The sax leans out and calls me like it knows every word I never spoke. You watch me hum along in the half-light, eyes soft as if this view is enough. This quiet room, this crooked table, the chipped cup, and our tangled luck. Happiness, it turns out, sits low in the throat, in the way my name sounds when you're tired, in the space between your question and my answer, where I feel my own heart finely wired. It's the walk home under flickering signs, our steps out of sync but somehow aligned. The way you don't rush the silences, you just let them breathe and call them mine. One day the mirror will be less kind, lines where laughter carved its trail, glasses lined like little monuments to stories we tell in softened detail. If I forget which year we met, or which dress you wore that second spring, I hope I still remember this feeling, like a low note the night loves to sing.